Well, the Eagles lost on Monday. First time all season they've lost. Why? What went wrong? How did they lose to a team that is, solid? They're 500 in Washington, but still, it's a team you expected Philadelphia to dominate. What went wrong? And also, what still went right for the Eagles? Because both did happen, but let's get into it, and we'll start off with this play. I think the real thing that went wrong for Philadelphia is they beat themselves. That's just a huge thing that happened, is they made too many mistakes, and when you make those mistakes, even if you feel like you're a better team, it's hard to win at the NFL level, and especially against a, solid team in Washington. So this play, it's, we actually saw, I believe it was last week, or at least a couple weeks ago, there was a play where Hurts just threw one up to double coverage to A.J. Brown, and it got actually caught for a touchdown. I think maybe part of it is Hurts had just sort of almost, realized that A.J. Brown is superhuman and throwing up to him whenever, and sometimes that's not a great strategy. Sometimes it is, but here it's not. It's a zone coverage play, and you see how he's running a deeper route that, corner and safety can potentially, get in this area. Usually this is just kind of a clear out route. Watch as when Hurts takes the snap, you're going to see that down the field, the safety is in position to where, you can't really tell exactly what he's doing, but I think what happens is Hurts believes the safety is coming in towards the route that's going over the middle, because that's typically your read on this play. If the safety moves in, you throw over the top. If the safety stays deep, you throw over the middle. That's typically the way that you make this read. I think that's where Hurts went wrong. Really here, you can't just make this throw on that hunch, though, I don't think. I think that you have to make sure, if you're going to go deep here, that the safety is not in position to where he can make a play. However, Hurts does make this throw, and it's a great play by the safety. I mean, and the reality is there have been instances of Hurts doing that and it resulting in a, catch by A.J. Brown and a big completion. So you can get both sides, but the reality is when the ball doesn't bounce the way you want to on a play like that, bad things can happen. And, maybe one of those throws that I feel like, especially, when it gets to playoff time and stuff, probably not the throw that Hurts should be making there necessarily, but maybe they just have to hit him more too. And there was also just kind of some miscues. Like something like this is a great example of like a play that can completely change the dynamic of a game, but is so fluky, where it's a third down right here. So zone coverage, you see the route on the screen. It's once again A.J. Brown, and it's a route that can work. It can get into a gap in coverage. You can see how it can kind of work on paper. Right when this play begins, you're going to notice that as we get to here, A.J. Brown is getting ready to cut towards the bottom of the screen. So that's what's happening right here. A.J. Brown getting ready to cut. Looks like it's going to get open. Hurts, you can't wait too long to make this throw, right? You got to make this throw before you know it's going to work, but it looks good right here. It really does. I mean, this is a throw that he should make 10 out of 10 times. Hurts makes this throw. A.J. Brown slips and falls, and if he didn't, that's a catch and a first down. So again, it's just one of those like fluky plays where it's a totally understandable mistake. Guy slips and falls. It happens. There's not really too much you can control about that. But because that happened, now it basically costs you a possession. Instead of still having the ball, you have to give the ball to the other team. I mean, that's a huge swing by just kind of a smaller mistake. You could maybe argue this is a bigger mistake if you wanted to, where it's going to be a man coverage play. You see that A.J. Brown is going to be going sort of over the middle right here. Once again, a third down and relatively short, trying to get to the 35-yard line. So, okay, just need a few yards. Looking at A.J. Brown one-on-one, sure. Hurts takes the snap. He's going to look towards A.J. Brown. A lot of A.J. Brown stuff early on in this video. Makes sense. He is a huge part of that offense. But you see right here, is it open? Yeah, it's kind of open. However, when his throw comes in, defensive back's able to come in, make a very good defensive play, not allow the completion to happen. So again, couple of third downs right there, right? If those two go the other way, if Brown was able to win that matchup, and if Brown didn't fall on the last play, maybe you have 2 first downs instead of giving the ball to the other team twice. Couple things like that. Third downs conversion percentage can always be fluky and can always cause your team to look a little bit worse. Maybe you have to say, hey, they got to start hitting these more. I think that's reasonable to say, but I also think they will. That's why I'm not concerned about it. I think this is stuff they'll get better at. Like, we still saw examples of, at times, this offense looking unbeatable, so I still don't feel concerned whatsoever. Something like this, which is going to be, you see the concept on the top of the screen. It's against man coverage right here, so it's really going to be the Devonta Smith route that can get open. Watch as Hurts takes the snap. He is going to look up in that direction. He's going to fire in that direction, and you see Smith is just wide open here. I mean, this is as open as it gets at the NFL level, and we still see this happening at times. Wasn't quite as consistent in this game. You got to tip your cap to Washington. I thought they covered well, better than maybe I would have expected them to cover heading into this game. So, hey, that happens. That's football. It's not always every team plays equally good every week. Sometimes you play a team that's playing better a specific week. However, on this play, Smith makes the grab, breaks a tackle, gets into the end zone for a touchdown. I thought the Eagles were going to come back and win once this happened. I really did. I thought that the Eagles were looking very good, and they probably would have come back and win if it wasn't for those fumbles. Still, I think there's at least a very good chance that they would have. Although they also did have this opportunity, which wasn't a fumble, but this is, again, a third down play. Washington is playing zone coverage, and watch what happens. Jalen Hurts takes the snap. Jalen Hurts is going to look down the field. Jalen Hurts is going to look at all 5 eligible receivers, probably not at once because that would be hard to do, but if he were to look at all of them at once, it wouldn't help him out too much because there really isn't much open. Now, there actually is someone who is wide open and probably would get the first down to the complete opposite side that Jalen Hurts is looking, towards the bottom of the screen. At first, it didn't look like that was open, but now it is. So if Hurts were to be able to see that, he could have been able to make the throw. And I think it's probably fair to put some criticism on him for this if you wanted to. He is going to try to run very quickly into this play, whereas if he just looked around, he would have found an open receiver and probably picked up the first down. The flip side, though, is that Hurts is very good with his legs, and if Hurts can get outside of the pocket here, there's a very good chance he picks up the first down with his legs. So both arguments, are debatable. However, when Hurts tries to get out, he just can't get out of the pocket there. So, that makes it basically he ran directly into a sack. I always kind of feel like those plays should count as not a sack, but a rush for a loss of 5. Maybe no one cares about that. To me, that feels like a more accurate depiction of what happened because he was trying to run, but I guess he still could have tried to throw after, so maybe it's fair to call it a sack. I don't know. Who cares? Couple plays like that, couple big third downs missing. That is going to be the difference. And again, you got to hit those third downs, right? It's not like they're just going to automatically get better, but they were worse in this game than they were in previous games, which is why I'm not overly concerned. This chart is very interesting. The good old win probability added top plays chart. Love this stuff. These were the 4 biggest plays of the game in terms of win probability added. So the top play, that is going to be the fumble, one of the fumbles that happened, the Dallas Goedert fumble. That's the one where there should have been a face mask penalty, and that's a huge swing in the football game. That's 24 percentage points. They went from having a 57% chance of winning, the Eagles did, to just a 33% chance of winning. Huge swing there. Also a 5-point estimated points added swing on top of it. So that's huge. Washington had some mistakes their own way. They had one that was, that swung a 16-point win percentage play on the interception. That interception was definitely a head scratcher at the time. We also have but the other 2, again, pretty big, significant ones, I would say. The Jalen Hurts getting sacked play, the one I just showed you, that one had a 16-point win percentage drop, and also the play at the bottom was the big fumble where there was that 50-yard completion to Quez Watkins, but then the fumble, so that cost them 10 win percentage points, and that's not even counting the fact that there was a point when they had the ball 50 yards down the field without a fumble. So if Quez Watkins holds on to that ball, that's probably that's actually the biggest win percentage swing, would be just that fumble itself, if you count after the catch was made. At the end of the day, it's not to take credit away from Washington. They made these plays. They forced these fumbles. They deserve the credit. But those things are fluky, and a couple of bad plays did cost the Eagles this football game, which that's why going 17-0 is really hard to do. But I have not seen enough to be concerned at all. I think that it's one of those games. But that's what I think. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.